This one is actually a continuance of an earlier segment where Lloyd Austin says he doesn't know anything about drag queens in the military. Play it. Not only are there drag performances on military bases, despite what the secretary says, that's from a TikTok account that the Navy's using for outreach. So it's official. All right, here we go. Final rant. Before we get into this, I have to count myself as somewhat of a fan of KISS. Put that up there. Over the years of working at SiriusXM, that's an original pressing of Destroyer from 1976. My cousin threw it in the garbage around 1978 because he was getting an 8-track player in his car. I rescued it from the garbage, and if you get up close, you could see that all 4 original members signed my record, which I have in my house, starting with Ace Frehley, then it was Gene Simmons, then it was Paul Stanley, and I got the most elusive KISS member, Peter Criss, when he was up to host on the Beatles channel on SiriusXM. Well, Paul Stanley really stepped in it with the left. He came out against transgender surgeries for minors, headline Rolling Stone. KISS's Paul Stanley has thoughts about parents who support kids' gender identities. Quote, KISS member Paul Stanley has made a statement on Twitter about his stance on kids' gender identities and parents who are normalizing, even encouraging participation in embracing them, calling it a sad and dangerous fad. There's a big difference between teaching acceptance and normalizing and even encouraging participation in a lifestyle that confuses young children into questioning their sexual identification as though some sort of game, and then parents in some cases allow it. He wrote in an unsolicited "my thoughts on what I'm seeing" statement on Sunday. He added there are individuals who, as adults, who may decide reassignment is their needed choice, but turning this into a game or parents normalizing it as some sort of natural alternative, or believing that because a little boy likes to play dress up or his dress up in his sister's clothes, or a girl in her brother's, we should lead them steps further down a path that is far from the innocence of what they are doing. Well, let's just say that the left hates his guts now. And I will tell you this. You know, Gene is always seen as the more conservative of the 2 original members that are still in the band, even though he thought people who weren't vaccinated should be locked up, but strong on Israel, strong on capitalism, strong on freedom. Paul's a little bit more to the left on many things, but this is something that is crossing ideological lines. We know you should not mutilate children, and it is not healthy, it is not good, it is not sane. I applaud Paul Stanley for coming out and saying that and taking the heat and not backing down.